Grand rising, everybody. Peace, love, and harmony to you all. I am Peacekeeper, and I'm out here. In the heart of nature, just raising my frequency. Feels so good to be alive, baby. Feels so good to be here, yeah. Right now, wow, wow. Right now. Here to deliver yet another wonderful, powerful, inspirational, motivational, high vibrational message to the person receiving this message right here, right now. Trust that this message has found you whenever it has found you. Trust that you were meant to receive this message. You were meant to see this. Not only falls from a tree, without the universe's permission. Nothing in this life ever happens by chance. Everything happens for a reason. So know that, trust that, believe that. And what the universe has to say to you here today on this beautiful grand rise is shadow work. Embrace the sides of you that you may be ashamed of. Embrace the sides of you that you may be fearful of, most fearful of. Embrace the aspects of yourself that you may be guilty of. Embrace the sides of yourself where you feel the most insecure, unsafe, uncomfortable. This, my friends, is what the shadow side is. This is what doing the inner healing is all about. It's about tuning into your most vulnerable state. Tuning in to that state where you don't know what the outcome may be if you show that side, if you be that vulnerable. But it's a necessity for our growth. It's a necessity for our healing. This, my friends, is the message for today on this beautiful grand rise. What a way to start off a Sunday, right? Today will be a very bright, sunny, and airy day. Wanna know why? Because a lot of people will be bringing their deepest, darkest fears to the forefront today. A lot of people will be doing a lot of introspection. A lot of people will be taking out that accountability mirror. A lot of people will be focused on themselves doing the inner work. And what this will do for humanity, what this will do for individuals, it will help them to be more free to express themselves, free to just be themselves, free to accept themselves, free to dive into yet again the areas that they have tucked away in the closet, the sides that they have tucked away in the closet, because it may have just been a traumatic bonded experience, or it may have just been, a little bit of shame to expressing that talent in front of others, speaking their truth, allowing their voice to be heard. Those fears will be broken today because I'm about to share with you guys how to rise, how to bring forth your shadow side into the light and still be, comfortable. How to become comfortable in the uncomfortable. Where am I walking? Oh, shucks. Yeah, I can't see shit. I'm walking on a track right now and I'm not seeing where I'm going. Anyways, as I was saying, how to become comfortable in the most uncomfortable states. Right? And it starts like this. Move into it. You see that area, that zone where you feel the most uncomfortable? Be brave enough to go there. Be brave enough. Here's why. I'm going to share with you some of my weaknesses, some of my shadow sides that I used to think was a bad thing, or that I used to think was a weakness, up until I started to explore them, up until I started to move into that unknown phase, in that unknown state, in that uncomfortable state. For starters, this is what I'm doing here right now. Back in, let's say, 2020, this was one of my biggest fears. Being in the darkness. See, many people see the darkness as a bad or as only a negative. So anytime they hear the word dark, they automatically think, spooky, Dark Vader, something's coming to get me. It's something out there. Scary shit, right? Because of all the scary movies, because of all the trailers of, promoting the darkness as a bad. So we tend to think that the dark aspects of ourselves, the shadow aspects of ourselves internally is bad. So in this reality, this physical reality, this was a part of me that I saw as I'm afraid of. It's bad to even embark going there because I don't know what will happen, and I don't know what's lurking in the darkness, in the shadows. And that led me to staying away from that aspect of myself. That led me to staying away from even venturing into areas like this in the night. Now, I even used to be afraid of the lights being off in my bedroom. I even used to be afraid of that. I could have only been able to sleep in the darkness if someone was with me. That was a deep fear rooted within me. Up until, I started to grow out of it. And I became stronger. I became more comfortable. Yet again, sleeping in the darkness, sleeping in my own room, alone. This was a fear also that I used to feel that it's something to be ashamed of, because big guy like me afraid of the dark, right? Mr. Brave Man who dives off of rocks and dives off of cliffs and shit. It's afraid of the darkness. Believe that or not, right? And venturing into reprogramming my subconscious mind, changing the neural pathways, putting myself into the darkest situations, putting myself into the most uncomfortable states, allowed me to grow stronger and be more comfortable in that uncomfortable state. Be more comfortable in the darkness. So I'm now able to yet again sleep with my room in complete darkness. Far less even the whole house. I prefer the whole house to be in complete total darkness. Like, the lights now actually bother me. Some people may call me a bat. But really, this light that I'm using here to make this video is what's actually making me unable to see where I'm headed. I wouldn't be using this light unless, only because I'm using it now because I'm making this video. But I see better now in the darkness. I realize also that we as humans, we adjust to environments, we adjust to the elements that is around. So while being in the darkness, I've realized that our eyes are just like those cat eyes. In the daytime you see the pupil get very small, and in the nighttime, if you can see also now, my pupil is big. So if you can watch maybe one of my video for a brief 10 seconds, however long you choose to, you'll see that, hey, the pupil is a lot smaller in the day, whereas in the night it expands more because it's dark. And you see, like, with this light here that is reflecting to my eye, will also have it a little smaller than if it was pitch darkness. You know, so all of these are things that I realized from just exploring the darkness, just embracing the darkness. So yet again, that's a perfect example to show that the darkness is not a negative. It is part of our growth process. It is just that state where we are most uncomfortable of. It's just that state where we are most ashamed of. You know, that part of ourselves that we don't want others to know about, or that part of ourselves that we are very talented. Like example, another one that I would like to share is singing. My talent of singing, I used to be ashamed to sing in front of others. You'll see me singing on my YouTube channel, or even writing my songs and posting it on YouTube. That was a very, very challenging experience for me to overcome, and I'm still currently overcoming it. But the more I do it, the more stronger I get at it, the more better I get at it. And this is why I do it as much as possible. If I could do it every day, I do it every day. Well, I tend to do it every day. once in a while, it might seem a miss or 2 days or whatever, but it's not at the end of the world, because I'm still going, I'm still growing, I'm still being consistent. Because yet again, it doesn't matter how fast you go, it's always within just keep going. So that's me exploring yet again a shadow side of myself. So it's like I said again, the shadow is not bad. It's just we deem it as bad. We perceive it to be bad. We perceive it to be negative based on our ideology, or based on society's norms towards what is normal and what is not normal. Our shadow side yet again is our awareness, the parts of ourselves that is the most freeing to us. Like example, let me share another shadow side of myself. I talk to myself every day. Every day. I speak to myself like I'm speaking to a whole other person. Some may call that crazy. Some may call that insane. But I speak to myself out loud. And sometimes, like, if I'm doing it in public and encounter or another human being or another person, I'll just be like, I'll shut up. I'll get quiet, because I know it in their minds, they see somebody else speaking out loud or talking, like if they're talking to themselves, but it's like, this person talking to themselves, they're going crazy or something. So I already know that that's their perspective, that's what they may be thinking in their mind. So I tend to stay quiet. You know, but over time I started to express that side even more thoroughly. Like I even talk to myself in public sometimes. If I just feeling to express myself, I just feeling to talk to myself, I'm talking to myself. I don't really care what anybody feel or anybody think, because that's the perspective, that's their feeling. I'm reasoning with myself, I'm mapping out something with myself. I just choose to say that shit out loud. And because someone wants me to stay quiet and not express that, does that mean that what I'm doing is a bad thing? Does that mean that I should be ashamed to talk to myself in public? It's again, so I started to get rid of that shame. Now, if I'm talking to myself and someone is watching me dead on in my eyes, talking to myself, I watching them back dead on in their eyes, watching them back dead on, and I'm talking to myself still. Because what you think about me, what you feel about me, what you ashamed of, no, what you trying to make me ashamed of within myself is what you are afraid to do. Most people are afraid to do that. Afraid to express themselves, afraid to be vulnerable, afraid to be open. That's just me being open, expressing my mind, expressing my thoughts. And which brings me into, yet again, another shadow side, another part of my side, another aspect of myself that I started to venture more into. Yet again, I'm showing you all so much of my shadow sides today, right? Which is being vulnerable and open. You see, that sense of being vulnerable, that sense of showing people, yet again, the parts of yourself that you do behind closed doors that only you know. That sense of being open to showing others that has been a very tough thing for me to do, based on yet again having a lot of traumatic experiences, having a lot of, judgment, dealing with a lot of judgment, dealing with a lot of oppression, suppression, dealing with a lot of hurt, has led me to, being protective, very protective over myself, in terms of, yet again, being vulnerable and open to others. But it's in me venturing into just dropping that mask, or just dropping that fear of being completely vulnerable. Gosh, walking into the bush again. But I sense it. Yeah, being able to be open and vulnerable, sharing all aspects of myself, sharing all areas of myself in a way where, hey, there's actually people coming down here in the night. What? Papa daps, look at that. Probably going and fish. Yeah. Being open-minded, but yet still being open-minded to share that side of myself. Being open-minded to be vulnerable. Yet again, all the aspects that I once deemed as something to be ashamed of, something to be afraid of, what they may think, how would they judge it, I started to just show that. I started to just embrace that. See, so if you want to judge it as bad, or if you want to judge it as something that you think I should be fearful of or guilty of,
morning.
Yeah, man. All that means is that that's a fear that you have within yourself. That's a perspective or perception that that individual has within themselves. And because they, yet again, are afraid to do that or express that level of vulnerability, they tend to try to bully others for it. So this was another reason back in the day why I used to hide my vulnerability, why I used to always be a little protective, because there are a lot of bullies out there. Whereas if they see you expressing your weaknesses, if they see you expressing your, let's just say, insecurities, if they see you expressing the parts of you that is not quote unquote deemed as your strong point, or your strong side, they look at it as and they laugh, they make a lot of fun of you for being vulnerable. Whereas they make fun of me, or they would make fun of me for being vulnerable. And the tricky thing is, they laugh at me for being vulnerable, and yet again talking in public or whatever it may be, or making fun or doing whatever they do. And the jokey thing is, they themselves would love to be doing that. They themselves would love to be so expressive and so free and so vulnerable and so open, but because of their fear of being vulnerable, always having to protect their energy, always having to protect themselves from God alone knows what, yet again, it makes me now understand that, hey, let them laugh at me, because now I get to laugh at them for the fear, or for the inability to accept themselves and to be vulnerable and express themselves. Now I can laugh. So ha ha, ha, ha ha. You'll get it? But that being said, that doesn't mean that I don't protect my energy. No. So which moves into, yet again, another shadow side that I used to feel guilty of. So I'm moving into guilty now. I used to feel guilty for saying no to someone. Why did I used to feel guilty? Because it's like, I know that I could probably help, or it's that I know that I can do something that may make it easier for them in that point of time, but I have something myself to do, I have me to see about. So I say like, all right, you know what? I'm gonna help them and I'm gonna put them first. And at times where I would say no, where I know I could have helped, it actually made me feel guilty because I knew that I could have helped. And then what that did was it showed me again I had a fear of saying no to people because I was programmed in a way that I always need to be this kind, empathic yes man. You know, I always need to say yes to help people. I always need to say yes. You need help? Alright, I come in to help you. You need help? Alright, I come in to help you. You need saving? Alright, I come in to save you. This was a subconscious programming embedded deeply in me. I was saying, walking off the track again. Yeah, this was a subconscious programming embedded deeply in me that I always thought I needed to say yes. Whereas I started to venture yet again deeper into saying and embracing the unknown of saying no. Learning how to say no. You need help? Am I able to right now? How is it going to harm my progress? How is it going to deter me from my mission or what it is that I have to do? This is what I ask myself now before I say to others, yeah, I can help you. This is what I do now. And this has helped me to realize that, wait a minute, it's not bad, it's not negative, it's not it's not something to be ashamed of or be guilty of. But these are the things that I was once ashamed of. These were the things or the sides of me that I used to be guilty of. Yet again, moving into my shadow nature, embracing my shadow nature, which is yet again the aspects of myself where I deemed as weaknesses, I started to realize that these sides of me is my strong points. These sides of me is what makes me so unique, what makes me so special, what makes me able to just be me, just use my creative nature, yes, explore me totally and not care what anybody else thinks. You know, I started to embrace that, embody that, explore that. And now I walk in the darkness with bravery. Don't you dare think I have no fear. I got fear. I still do. Believe that or not. But I am brave. I used to be afraid of snakes. I still am. People don't even know that. But I am brave enough to hold them. I am brave enough to go pet them. I am brave enough. Because I know fear is just false evidence appearing real. My perception to what I think the outcome may be. This, yet again, is meant for all of my shadow sides, all of my of my insecurities or whatever. It all just stems from me being afraid of the unknown of what may be happen, and then what may happen, and then I create the own illusion within my mind that, hey, this is what could happen or that is going to happen, when it's all just a belief system. It's all just an idea. It's all just a thought. And it's only if I focus on that thought, if I focus on the outcome of it being that way, being a negative way, then that's when it actually manifests that way in the reality. And it now deters me from even venturing into that fear. So I stopped doing that and I started to say to myself, hey, there's nothing to be afraid of. And I used bravery to overcome it all. I am just brave. That's it. I am just brave. That is how I embrace my shadow side. That is how I integrate my shadow side. That is how I overcome my weaknesses. That is how I overcome my traumas. I embrace them and I move into them and I take them head on, you know, exploring them, because those sides of me is actually Yet again, as I said, my most unique traits, the sides of me that I have been hiding from the world, yet again, was singing. Yet again, my knowledge, my wisdom that I am now sharing freely, 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 freely here on YouTube. I was once afraid to do this. But yet again, being brave enough to move into the unknown, being brave enough to share my experiences, being brave enough to share my mind, vulnerable, openness, being open. So I created this channel to show others, hey, you don't have to be perfect to be a YouTuber. You don't have to be anybody special to be a YouTuber. No. Just practice on consistency, just start somewhere, because it's the start that really influences you to expand and grow more comfortable in doing it. Now I do it. Comfortable or not, uncomfortable or not, I just do it. I just be brave enough to press play and just go with the flow. It's like I say, I don't have a script. No. As you can see, well, pitch ass dark. How can I even read a script in the darkness, right? That just goes to show yet again, guys. The dark nature is not a bad thing. It's what we perceive it to be. So we need to break that subconscious programming of it's bad, it's negative, and see it just as, hey, the parts of ourselves that is actually our strongest points, our most truest points. That is the truth of who we are, that we've been told to stay away from by society, that we've been told is deemed bad or negative or weird or crazy or insane. That dude's crazy. He's in the bush in the dark by himself. Never alone unless you abandon yourself. I was in the bush in the dark with Gaia, Mother Nature. I was in the bush in the dark with the universe, the source, the life source energy that fuels me. Channeling information from Gaia, dealing with myself. That's what I was doing in the dark, making a YouTube video. Some may see that as crazy, because yet again, fear of making that attempt, of trying that. That's just their fear. That's just their reality. That's just their mind. That's just their thoughts. But if they would move into it, if they would even make attempts to embark on a journey like this, they would see that there's nothing to be afraid of. They would see that, yet again, the fear was just an illusion of their own perception. And yet again, it's like I said, all of that is just shadow sides. All of that is just the parts of themselves that they're not yet ready to explore. So I just say, like, integrating your shadow, doing the shadow work, doing the inner work, it stems from you taking time to deal with those aspects of yourself who you deemed as your weakest points, or the points that you deem to be the most insecure about or feel the most insecure about. It stems from starting to embrace those sides and express those sides. It's in doing so, you begin to grow more freer and freer and freer. You begin to grow more happier. You begin now to become more whole, more fulfilled. You begin to be able to be yourself truthfully, authentically. And the thing with this is, it never stops. This is endless. Like, I've been doing this for a year now, and more every day I see that, well, not a year yet, approaching a year, this is actually 11th month. So I kind of jumped the gun there a little bit. Consistently. But actually my whole life, I've been aware, but not using my darkness, not tapping into my shadow. Now, for the past year, I've been tapping into my shadow. I've been tapping into my dark side. I've been using that. And the thing of this is, people have grown so accustomed to wearing a mask or being fake that the truth actually scares them now. And that's why I say, the truth is, it can never be told. Some people may see this message and be like, that's not for me. And some people may be like, yeah, I feel you, bro. I understand. And I say to you, if you made it down this far, just be brave. Just be brave enough to challenge those fears, to open yourself to those realms, open yourself to the unknown realms, and look at it at a new perspective. Change your view. If you were looking at it this way before, look at it this way. Get a whole different viewpoint. You now see a whole different reality, just based on what you perceive it to be. Move into the unknown, the unfamiliar. It's again another one of my fears that I used to be afraid of. Letting go of my structure, letting go of what I know. Being in that comfortable zone of, hey, I know this, so I guess I gotta stick with this. But really, you don't gotta stick with anything. It's being able yet again to express and explore something new. Moving into the unknown. And that's the shadow, guys. That's the shadow. And now as I come into the light, where the sun is starting to rise, hey, I'll cut this message here. I hope I helped in any way, form or fashion today on this beautiful Sunday. And share with you how to become more free, be more expressive of your feminine nature, your shadow nature, the truth of who you are, and free you once again to becoming whole and balanced. So, but again, everything that I've said here in this message, you don't have to listen to me. Listen to you, and always trust yourself and go within. Because this is what I do. So I always inspire you to do you. Because only you can know the truth of you. Only you can free yourself. The truth cannot be told. It can only be realized. I am Peacekeeper. And I'm out. Until tomorrow. But wait a minute. Tap that like button. Hey, and share this. Let's break YouTube's algorithm. And get this message out there. Someone else out there needs to hear this. Peace.